Make sure you sign it on the sign-in sheet, please. Please. Sign it on the sign-in sheet.
It's not the Silver Lake.
They'll pass it inside his work.
And all he does is.
Jack, you sign it?
Are you Sergeant Lieutenant Rivas? Yeah.
Good?
Yeah, I want to, while I'm here, I need to, but I forget the names, I want to make 2 commendations, if I can afterwards. But, yeah, sure, hey, I get credit too.
Appreciate that.
Credits too.
I'm more happy to take that.
Yeah, for sure, and, but I just don't know, I don't remember the names.
If you tell me the time and date, I could run it, and then I could, if you just tell me like what happened.
And you can help me do the
Yeah,
commendation.
what I could do is you can give me the name, the time, like for example, you say yesterday at 10 o'clock and you give me the location.
Hello, sir.
You're not gonna like
How are you
it.
doing?
It was at the Scientology Easter thing. But they honored their oath and they did their job. Very pleased with them, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then what I'll do is I'll get, you give me a date and time, and you just tell me a brief what happened, so then I'll go and I'll look at their body worn video.
Okay, good.
And then what I'll do is I'll write it from you, like I'll type it, and then I'll give you some.
Okay. Will I be able, huh?
I'll be excited about it.
I said they earned it. I told them, I said, because I do, I prefer to give commendations than complaints. I hate giving complaints. I'll give one if I need to, but if something I really feel needs to be adjusted, but it's not what I like it.
Send an email investigating to the city regarding some email that you sent him, or?
Yeah, because I have a report, an official task report.
He did it himself too.
He did?
Yeah, he did.
Good.
He'll probably talk to you about it.
Because I am anti-Scientology because of their abuses and crimes, but I'm not anti-cop or LAPD. I'm hoping to get you to understand a different point of view that you don't get because you're only dealing with them.
So this time that like we don't see things the same way, but as long as we do everything right, I'm glad you're talking about the officers. They'll be excited.
No, they did it right. They honored the oath.
Definitely,
Although, but I also want to know, like the rules on, I don't think I'm screaming, but, I want to know the rules on, because the people who did violate my rights, it wasn't officers of LAPD, they honored my rights. They did, right, but, I did file a complaint with BSIS on their security, but there's also a member of Scientology that I want to file a complaint about because they violated my right to, and I like to talk about it, like what happened and everything and sort it out, because I really want to get, and like if he said that if he can't release the names to me, that's fine, but I can maybe give you the complaint number for BSIS for you to maybe supply.
Okay, so
any
what I'll do is I'll
information.
have, he'll talk to you about that portion, and he'll get the information from you.
Okay, what senior leader will that be?
Officer Hernandez.
Okay, because I know at the bid meeting, there was a different one that
He
came.
was just filling in because the other one was helping out in the other division. So as long as someone at the bid meeting, we just want an officer there.
Right.
And so Officer Hernandez will be here.
Okay, I don't think he likes me too much.
No, he's good. He's good. He does not.
I think he's a Scientologist. I do. He's a Scientologist. Hey guys. Oh, man, I haven't figured out the lighting issues. I have a feeling she won't. We'll see. Maybe she will. We'll see.
But that always isn't true, so I mean, maybe they'll.
Wait, let me get. Hold on. Let me get. I don't know how to. I had forgot to try the lighting. At least I can see the chat. I figured out the chat. But I hope they understand. I need to protect myself and document everything. But this is the I really like this president of this. Oh man, I don't know how to fix this lighting.
Unanimous consent. I could not think of unanimous consent.
Does anyone? I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Boulevard from Allison.
I know, right?
So good. He's gonna talk to me after, which is good. I'll just
That's, remember I told you.
file my commendations. Okay, I really don't want to be alone, so good. Because like I had to work. I get nervous. I don't know why. I feel like sweaty palms when I come here, and I don't like feeling like that because I'm not a nervous Nelly, you know. But it's just, I don't know. You just feel like you're in the belly of the beast. Oh, yeah, I'm here by myself. Oh, hi, MD. Hey, Sue. Hey, Kirby's. Hey, King's Kid. Let me see, who am I missing? Diane. Indie Media, August. What's up, Linda? Minion. August and August. Welcome, welcome. Happy to see you. So right now,
It's all about the method. That's all about the method.
DOA, he'll have better footage because I'm like, I have a hard time putting the camera on people. Sometimes I'm still stressed with that. Oh my gosh, there's a guy here. He reminds me of Bike Guy. It's just blocking. Oh my gosh, I got Timu Bike Guy here, but he's not in a uniform. Hi.
Yeah, I'm doing well. Hello.
Hi, officer. How are you?
I'm doing well.
The lady, she officially retired then.
Oh my gosh, wait. I think that's Timu Bike Guy. I'm gonna call him Timu Bike Guy.
I have to make sure
They're gonna want these. Oh no, not hello.
the board members, and if there's any,
Well, I don't know how to do this lighting thing.
then after I go there, then I can ask.
Sorry about the lighting, guys. I'll fix it. I'm not familiar with Samsungs at all. Like, I'm a total Apple girly, but I'll figure it out.
Consent.
Oh my gosh, it's definitely Bike Guy, Team Bike Guy. Yeah, for sure. Oh man, why do I feel? Hernandez. I told I'm sorry, I told Rebus, I swear Hernandez is a Scientologist. I'm gonna stick by that. I don't care, you know what I mean? I'm not shy, so I speak my mind. Hey Gina. Hi, Hernandez, how you doing? Okay. I think they're gonna have me talking to you after. I'm doing 2 commendations. Not to me, no. No.
Okay, as soon as we're done here, we're done talking, I'll send an email.
Okay, but he's I was in sergeant meeting. Yeah, because I'm doing 2 commendations, but I also have like a complaint against, like I need information. I guess it'd be easier to talk afterwards.
Please make sure you sign on the sign-in sheet. Folks, let's get seated.
Sure.
It's 6 o'clock, you don't have to start meetings on time.
Nope. I didn't think she would be. I had a feeling. Hi, officer.
Please make sure you have an agenda. Folks, calm down, folks, I'm right here. Please make sure that you have an agenda in front of you on the table. My apologies for saying draft. It is no longer a draft, it's actually the actual agenda. But my apologies. Watermark issues, it's all good. It's a good agenda. So
He's
just
the
make
best
sure you have it in front of
president.
you.
I like this guy.
Make sure you have the agenda items with regard to the items that we'll be approving today in front of you. I know that I sent the board members, and only the board members are the ones that make
Exactly.
those decisions.
Absolutely. After
And approve
the other
that.
night, yeah.
So I want to confirm that they receive it. We open the meeting. And then
I
lastly, I
like his
just want to make a
microphone.
comment that everybody needs to understand. When we have these CPAB meetings, it's very important that we respect other people's opinions, that we remain civil, and that we find a way to work together as a unified community. So we won't allow any outbursts in our meeting, and we won't allow disrespect in our meetings. In order for all of us to enjoy our environment for concerns on public safety and in reference to crime stats, it's important that we all kind of work together and be civil to one another, okay? So please remember that. So it is now 6:02. For those of you, I want to welcome you all. My name is Bradley. I am the Northeast Community Police Advisory Board, CPAB. I'm from Glassville Park.
Not after
We always start with a roll call, real quick, your name and your community, and then we'll start working on the agenda. To my left is Sakai.
Sakai Toyama Echo Park.
Claire Hernandez from East Hollywood.
Gina Pay, East Solano, East Valley.
Duncan Festival, Los Angeles.
They might send somebody else.
NSP Las Vegas.
Brian Fisher, Silverwood.
Hey, Scott. Nice to see you again. My dear. Solon County? Solon County?
Solano Canyon, Living Moreno.
Hi, Hernandez, City Lead Officer for the Eagle Rock Community.
Nice to see you, sir.
Officer Dean Scoosman, Community Relations Office.
Which we wouldn't be able to survive without her. Okay. Sir?
Veronica Pinedo, Ramona Hall Community Center.
Nice to see you, my dear. My apologies for the last meeting.
I go by Audit LA.
That
Thank
works
you.
for us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And back, Jose?
Jose Ramirez, Senior Lead Officer for Silver Lake and Franklin Hills.
Excellent. Philip?
Philip Horowitz, Murray Circle, Murray Drive, Neighborhood Group in Silver Lake, and CPAB member.
Thank you, sir.
I'm Nancy Hayakawa, that member with Atwater Village.
Thanks, Miss Nancy.
My name is Jose Aviles, City of LA Department of Recreation and Parks, we live in Los Angeles State Park.
Excellent. Welcome.
Pierre Deacon, Eagle Rock,
Yes, ma'am. Nice to see you.
Tom Atkins, Marine veteran, CPAP member, and North Dakota Chamber for a real veteran, he's also a volunteer here for Northeast.
Excellent.
Louis Reyes, Senior Lead for Cypress Park and Blackwell Park.
Excellent.
William Cole, Rental Park.
Sir, Ms. Kagan?
Alpha Glassville Park.
Jackie Valladares, and born and raised in Echo Park.
Excellent.
Cuidado Terrazas Cross, Senator Maria Elena.
Thank you, sir, for being here. I know your busy schedule. Sir,
Oh, hi, I'm Lieutenant Andy Mathis from Operations Central Bureau.
we look forward to having your presentation, sir.
Oh, there's one of us.
Good evening, Sergeant Rivas from Northeast Closing Program.
Captain Jay Hong from Northeast Area Command Officer.
So, excellent. So make sure again you have your agenda in front of you. So, and please also make sure you sign in on the sign-in sheet. I'm gonna ask if one of the official officers can grab the sign-in sheet and put it on the clipboard so we can pass it around for those that weren't able to sign in before they got here. So that sign-in sheet should still be back there, is it not?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Want to pass it
Thanks,
around?
Denise. She's gonna take care of that. Okay, so we're gonna go through this agenda pretty quickly. We might only have 1 hour meetings. So please keep your comments down to a minimum. We do entertain questions, but we do want to make sure we keep it quick because there is the hallway, the vestibule, that you can talk in that area after the meeting. So moving on, CPAB business, item 2, approval of draft meeting minutes from February 27, 2024, if available. I sent that out to all CPAB members. Did everyone receive it? Any questions, comments, or remarks? CPAB members? Excellent. Can I get someone to introduce a motion to approve the meeting minutes as is?
Move the motion to approve.
Thank you, Duncan. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you very much, Philip. Any further comments, questions, or remarks? All in favor? Excellent. Moving on to item 2B. Update status on LAPD volunteer applications for CPAB, new CPAB members. Denise, Officer Guzman, is she here?
I'm here, sir.
Oh, excellent. There you are. My apologies. Have you received any new apps by chance or any updates on those two?
For CPAB, no, not yet.
Okay, excellent. Anyone want to submit any volunteer applications for being a CPAB member? All right, moving on. Item 2C, adopt community impact statement. Council file 240079-supplemental 2S2 regarding copper wire task force theft, downtown Boyle Heights, El Cerrito, Lincoln Heights, Council Districts 14, neighborhood service enhancements, general city purposes fund, introduced by City Council, motion De Leon and Carr. Again, I sent all of the CPAB members the information they need to review before they come to this meeting. Any questions or comments in reference to 2C? All righty. Go ahead, please. Cameron?
Why don't we have one of these for Los Feliz?
That's a good question. I'm sure we'll have someone discuss that issue. They're here to discuss that issue as part of their presentation. Any other questions from any CPAB members? Need a motion to introduce motion to approve with conditions or deny that request to submit a community impact statement. Thank you, Duncan. Move to approve?
Yes.
Okay, can I get a second?
Second.
I'm sorry, Brian did? Any further discussion? All in favor of approval of 2C, submitting a community impact statement in reference to the copper wire issues? In favor? Opposed? All right, moving forward with 2-4 and 2D and D and E. One of them has to do with a request for public notification to the Cannabis Regulation Commission regarding cannabis-related businesses in Northeast LA. And again, this is just a request to the Cannabis Regulation Commission to keep us informed on any new businesses or operations, any replications or renewals of permits in our area, so that we have input, not making any decisions for or against, but input only. And the second one is a request for public notifications related to public safety concerns from the Department of City Planning, alcohol, beer, and wine, and any ABC-related applications in Northeast LA. And again, I want to make it very clear. Community Police Advisory Board is an advisory capacity role only. We cannot make any decisions for or against any specific project. However, we do have a right to have input and engagement, and this is what these two letters intend to do. CPAB members, any questions in reference to these two letters?
I would like to put it on record that I would like to recuse myself from item 2E.
E, okay? Thank you, sir. Any other board members? Comments? All right. Can I get someone to introduce a motion on the approval of 2D and E?
So moved.
Thank you, Philip. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you very much, my dear. All in favor? Any opposition? Excellent. Moving on to item 3. Council, elected official offices remarks, commentaries, and updates. Start off with council, someone from the mayor's office. Got someone here from the mayor's office? No. Okay, Susanna was supposed to be here. Okay. How about council member's office? Council District 1? Council District, oh. Elena.
How long is it gonna take?
Sorry, Elena. Sorry. You stuck in right from my side. Go ahead, please.
Okay, hi folks. If you don't know me, my name is Elena. I'm one of 5 field deputies for Councilmember Onisis Hernandez. Specifically, I cover Cypress Park in the northeast area, but I also cover Lincoln Heights, Elysian Park in the northeast area, and Delino Heights, the Vista Hermosa area. I know usually it's Wendy that covers this area, and I usually cover most of Hollenbeck. But just wanted to backtrack and say some of the stuff that we've been up to. March 14th, we were able to honor one of our very own in Cypress Park, Doña Tere. If you are unfamiliar with her work, she does a weekly food distribution on Wednesdays just outside of her house. And we were able to honor her in City Council on the 14th. We gave her a really beautiful presentation. And she is involved with LA Más as well as Acción Comunitaria. And just her as a person, she really believes in empowering the Spanish-speaking community, especially in moments like this, and really pushing forward the need for greater education and greater community growth and strength to be able to protect ourselves and our neighbors from a lot of just the general ongoings that we have. The following day, on March 15th, we had our first CD1 Earth Fest. It was a partnership with a lot of the groups that are eco-friendly here in the Northeast. We specifically held it at Rio de Los Angeles State Park. I know I saw a lot of you out there, but in short, we gave out about 100 trees and 100 rain barrels. We did it back in March because we were trying to beat the rush that everyone seems to be having this weekend and beyond. But it was a really great first experience, and I think we'll probably continue to do that at Rio State Park. It's really wonderful. I know you all know about developments that's coming up in there in June, but more on that in a couple months. In March, we also completed our 8th Know Your Rights workshop, and I know we're planning 2 more in the area with the Northeast Consortium, mainly one at Divine Savior as well as one at Aragon Elementary, who were one of the folks who were, just some of the folks who were requesting some of those. As you know, Dodger opening day came and went. You know, we're here to tell the tale, so obviously at least some of it is going okay. But just a general reminder, if you aren't familiar with Kristen and Lisbeth, they are the government relation folks that are responsible for hearing constituent concerns. I'm happy to be that liaison, but we really want them to learn about the ways that you all are being affected on this side of Elysian Park, or on the other, or any side. Just so that they are able to adjust in real time. I know Jerry is currently out, the DOT lieutenant, but Joanne Calderon is in his place, and I'm happy to make that connection as well. My email is not on here, but it's my first and my last name, elena.chavez@lacity.org, and I'm happy to give Kristen and Lisbeth's info as well. Generally, 311 has a facelift.
Yes.
It's not doing too great.
No.
So we are trying to, one, make sure there isn't such a huge drop off with usership, because I know it's just, we were promised the world, roses and gold and all the other things, and we're trying to just keep those folks accountable, because the old system, it was just, it couldn't handle it all. It was created in like 2010. Data-wise, it was doing just enough, but we're hoping that this one is a lot better. So if there are any specific glitches that you all are seeing, I know some people are getting messages like immediately back saying like, great, this will be repaired in 2 days, and that's not the case. Just let me know. I want to be able to see those and kind of be able to identify that for certain departments, because it doesn't seem to be happening across the board. But same thing, want to catch it sooner rather than later. We had a couple Easter events, but I'll just name Cypress and Rio. We were able to help with the food that they were able to give out, and also honor some of their parent volunteers that are really dedicated. And then Cypress Park, we were able to sponsor a couple buses. I think we took 45 kids to the LA Zoo that were there at the Easter event, and we're just having a great time as well. And then just this past Saturday, we had Easter at Aragon Elementary, and Dr. Rivas came out. I think it's hopefully the first of many, because it's notoriously difficult to do things at LAUSD schools. But you know, practice makes perfect, and hopefully we can do a lot more. I see some flyers for all the things going on this weekend. Mujeres de la Tierra is going to be opening a part of the River Center. I think colloquially it's going to be called La Esquinita. Community members kind of gave input on wanted to see as far as like organic structures. You won't really see a whole lot of cement going on. They're going to be adding some like water infrastructure. But it's going to be a great time. I will be present after our Pet Wellness and Adoption Day at North Central Animal Shelter, which will be from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Come out. I will try to persuade you to take a dog, puppy, cat, kitten home. Because as you all know, with the budget cuts, animal services is one of those that are, you know, getting the chopping grill. It's tough, but you know, we do what we can to bring awareness. This is in honor of National Shelter Day. That's on the 30th, and these will be reduced. Free vaccinations for those of you who have pets, and a ton of free microchips. I think we're doing a total of 120. But yeah, feel free to elaborate on more if you all have any questions.
Address on Lacey Street, please.
Address on Lacey Street. Intersection is 26 and Lacey. I don't know the address off the top of my head.
I'm sure you'll. Thanks so much. Councilor District 4. Is Councilor District 4 in the room? Councilor District 13.
Hi everyone. My name is Carla Martinez. I've met some of you already, but we've done a little bit of shuffling within our team in terms of our field staff. So our field deputy Lila, our senior field deputy, she got promoted to deputy district director for her field team. So she will be taking on that role. So we did a little bit of shifting and took in a new field deputy for the district. So I will be now, I'll keep being the field deputy for East Hollywood, but I'm also taking over Glassell Park as well as Legion Valley. And then our field deputy Regina, she is staying in Silver Lake, Outwater, and is taking over the Rampart part of our district. So I will be taking over for more than the northeast portion of our district. And then Mark Anthony Fuentes, who's our new field deputy, he couldn't make it today, but he is taking over Echo Park, as well as Elysian Park and a little bit of the Larchmont, which is the first side of our district. So that's a little bit of the shifting that happened within our team. I brought some of my cards so I can connect with a few of you if you live in those areas where I've transitioned to now. And yeah, so we have a few updates for you all. So most recently, we had some tree trimming happen in the district. So as of last month, our office designated $100,000 of discretionary funding for tree trimming in the district. So we compiled a list of all the field deputies of the locations that have been applied to us by constituents. So those happened on the weekend of April 12th and April 13th. So that happened on Douglas, Montana, and Echo Park, 2829 North Coolidge in Legion Valley, as well as 2816 Marsh, also in Legion Valley. So that's where we had some tree trimming happen with the Urban Forestry Department. We're hoping to get more tree trimming in the district because we know there's a lot of shortfalls right now in the budget when it comes to different city departments, urban forestry included. So we definitely want to support more, especially coming within the fiscal cycle. So if there are locations where tree trimming is necessary, feel free to apply those to me. I'm happy to add this to our list. And I know our field deputy Mark has been also introducing himself to the area and to the neighbors there. So more recently, he's been working with Slow Gina on Douglas and Sunset, so the ghost kitchen there and some of the concerns of the constituents. So he's been taking that on because I was previously working on that and working with like traffic concerns, working with DOT, working with LAPD on different concerns there. We're also tackling street lighting in the district. I know that's been a big topic of conversation. So it is a priority for our office to handle street lighting. So when it comes to discretionary funding, so far we've been able to designate $400,000 of discretionary funding to support Bureau Street Lighting in repairing street lights in the district. So far we've repaired over 500 lights in the district throughout the district, but we want to do more. So having those locations, if you have already flagged those locations to our office, we have an internal list with the Bureau of Street Lighting that they're going off of to make those repairs. Right now, we haven't designated a new round of funding, but we're hoping to get that going soon. So any new streetlight requests, feel free to flag those to me and share the 311 number that you have for that, and then we're happy to push that through the department. But yes, those are my questions.
Any questions for, hold on, Brian. CD 14, is CD 14 here? We're going to open up questions for one or two questions. First of all, let me just say that Elena and Carla are very good field deputies. They will call you back. They will email you back. So I want you to know that. That doesn't happen often. So I can tell you these two ladies will do so. So go ahead, Brian. Quick question.
Do you have just a rough list of where the street lighting was done in the district? I mean,
Yes.
you did on the tree trimming?
Yeah, so we had tree trimming or
No, the street lighting.
Street lighting?
What areas did you do 500 lights in?
Yeah, so we've done a few in the Hollywood area, Windsor Square. We had some in the Rampart Village portion of our district. I don't have the exact streets at the moment, but we've had it throughout the district. We had a few in the Legion Valley. So it's been a little bit of everywhere, but it's a citywide issue right now, so there's a big increase in street lighting outages throughout the city. And even Council District 13, we're seeing that impact as well. So we have multiple streetlight outages, but we've been trying to tackle as many of our neighborhoods as we can.
I called 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And I got a note back from, the councilman, and I was assured they were gonna fix it. And one of the places that I complained about was Glendale Boulevard, next to the 2 freeway. It's totally out. And not only that, there's 2 schools in the area. Well, the vault covers were off and there was wires hanging out. So we have 2 schools, we have kids blocking the sidewalks. And somebody get electrocuted. So finally, I put the covers back on because, number one, somebody could fall into this in the city. And what I don't understand is it would seem to me that especially when it's near a school, that'd be something that would be really
Be a
a
priority.
serious issue. The other place was West Silver Lake Boulevard. When I was here at one of the last meetings, there was 10 streetlights that worked on the west side of Silver Lake Boulevard. Now from Rowena, all the way down to the park, there's 4. So it's totally dark, and that's another area where there's, especially in the spring here, there's joggers at night, there's people walking around, and it's a safety issue, and it's gotten worse. The other thing is, maybe, hopefully somebody from the council district, or, I don't know, whoever's interested in safety would walk around the general area, because another problem is, a lot of the vault covers, they take them off, and they're open, like for example, across from the Silver Lake Library, and by Bank of America, the vault cover's been out there for probably 6 months. Well, if somebody falls in that when they're jogging or whatever, that would be a big lawsuit for the city. So I think from a safety standpoint, that maybe somebody from your council ought to walk around and look for these broken vault covers and look for where there's wires hanging out. And if nothing else, at least seal the covers off so it's safe.
Well, Carla's got the information, so she'll take that back with her to her office and discuss those issues.
Do you have an agenda too?
And just to give a little bit of background on that, so when BSL does do the repairs, what they do is they're not only repairing, but they're also reinforcing, so I'll actually take care of them on that one. Because I'm sure you put it in the one.
Just another little thing too.
No, Brian, no, Brian.
Might suggest this group things too.
Brian?
You might want to have them seal off the covers, because it doesn't look to replace the wire. And the thieves come back and they steal it, but they, in areas where there's a lot of homeless, because there are 8 people out stealing, they actually tape up the junction covers in the street lights and they seal the vault covers off, and that'll stop.
Thank you, Brian. Jack?
I emailed you on Monday, still have not gotten a response over overgrown vegetation, in Angelino Heights. Being born and raised in Echo Park, Angelino Heights holds a very special place for me because it's the only safe place as a learner that I have. And we haven't had the best history of overgrown vegetation that took 2 years to take care of. I'm just flagging this to you, and if you want, I can take it against your email, but I have not heard back from you.
I'm sure you'll share that information after the meeting, or we'll tell you that specific location, so definitely, please. Philip?
Colin, just to clarify the budget, earlier in the month, at Rampart CPAB, Leila had sent a report in saying that CD13 was out of budget,
Right.
at the beginning of the month. So just to clarify, the 400,000, is that now new money that has come, that you have available?
No, that was, prior to, so that was between, I believe, December of last year and I believe October of last year, there was about, 200,000 to cycles. So we haven't done a new cycle as of yet, we're hoping with the new fiscal year, we're gonna start getting that going soon.
New fiscal year means July 1?
Mhm.
Yes.
So right now, you have no money.
We haven't designated funding towards, or discretionary funding.
Okay,
for
so
street
is the mayor fund, I mean, is the mayor doing any funding then for street lighting? I mean, how are they continuing now?
lighting. So the mayor did release her budget, I believe 2 days ago now. Right now, our team is still reviewing the budget of what specifically, that looks like right now, but, as of now, we're hoping within our discretionary funding that we're hoping to support a little bit more.
Okay, so the bureau, I mean, how are they still repairing lights then, if there's no money?
Well, let me just clarify, I do want to interrupt on this, because what the council officers are doing, they're taking part of their discretionary fund, as you know how this works. They're taking part of their discretionary fund that they have set aside for these types of issues. So I don't know if that's part and parcel of the budget as you're requesting, but I think that'll be worked out as the months go through as to what new funding that they can use in their kitty to take care of those kinds of issues.
Yeah, because Bureau of Street Lighting repairing lights, it's just taking a really long time. Like some people are waiting 6 months for lights, and that's why we're designating.
Well, I answer what Brian's saying, the
Yeah.
same thing in Beverly Union, we have Lila, I mean, no, Virginia, I don't know if I'm on the list, I hope I am.
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah, you see, so.
But just one more thing, so, So that discretionary funding that we give goes towards overtime pay for the Bureau Street Lighting crews to go out, because the reason why it's taking so long is staffing shortages, material shortages, things like that. We're hoping with our discretionary funding, it helps pay overtime crews that have been going out to the district.
So we're gonna just close this discussion and move on. Thank you very much, Council Representatives, for being here. If you have any questions or comments, please provide your email address, Carla.
Yes, I have, cards as well.
Okay, excellent. And of course, Elena has provided her information as well. So moving on, folks, do we have anyone here from the Assembly Member's office? Anyone here from the Congressman's office? And I know we have someone from the State Senator's office. Sir?
Yes, hi everybody, my name is Ronaldo de Razas Cross. I'm a district rep for Senator Maria Elena Durazo. My areas that overlap with Northeast Division is Echo Park and Silver Lake. Karen could not make it tonight. She was promoted, I believe she came to your last meeting, Karen Linares. She is representing the Northeast LA area, Elysian Valley area for our office. There are three things to report. One is Sakai kindly pointed out to me the overgrown vegetation and a concern with people at the Glendale Freeway, the Glendale Boulevard entrance. The Caltrans took care of some of the vegetation, so we'll go again, I'll have to contact them again. There's an issue, if you've been by there, as people southbound at Glendale Boulevard, they make U-turns to go into the entrance of the freeway. And we got Caltrans to put a sign, no U-turns, and I've been there twice, and people ignore it, and they still make the U-turns. Very dangerous. So we asked for a raised platform, cement or other, or bollards. So Caltrans has a 5 to 7 year plan, so they're including that plan. I'm not sure when, if it's the first year or 7th year, but they're planning to put a barrier there to prevent that from happening. Secondly, I want to report a couple of events that we did. The Senator sponsored, hosted a series of workshops for youth. It was called the Latino Equality Alliance Playwriting Project, and they had 8 youth who took a class, 10 weeks, and they wrote their own 10-minute play about their experience as being LGBTQ plus person. So we did a stage reading last Monday that the senator was at, and she hosted it. She was very, very impacted by the powerful stories they had. So we have a little brochure, our program, which I'm going to share with Bradley, but I also wanted to I'll present afterwards. I know we have time crunch. We can take a picture with Bradley. He was one of our supporters of the reading and the project. So also for his strong leadership in leading CPAB.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you did surprise me, for sure.
We also have this weekend, Saturday, Echo Park Earth Fest 2.0. It's going to be this time at El Centro del Pueblo behind Masa de Echo Park. We have a lot of free activities, a free event. We're going to be giving out free eyeglasses. You can either bring a prescription, or you can have your eyes checked. Up to 100 people or more will get free glasses. So if you want to take advantage, doesn't matter your income, come and get your new glasses. So we'll be doing that, free trees, up to 100 free trees, special performances. We're going to have for the youth and for oldsters like me, free demonstration of skateboarding. You can sign up for a skateboarding class if you'd like, a free skateboarding class at El Centro del Pueblo. I'm going to pass out flyers.
Thank you.
So enjoy it.
Nice report. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Yes. Okay.
Can I add
So,
something?
go ahead. I'm
Sorry.
sorry, Kai.
I'm co-chair on the Echo Park Earth Fest with Colgado. We just got Bob Day from Marionette to make an appearance on Saturday, which is a huge hit with little ones. So if you have little ones, bring them down.
Thank you. So folks, we're going to move on to the next agenda item. That is the special guest representative here, Lieutenant Andy Mathis, Director of the Citywide Heavy Metal Task Force. Sir, you're on. Welcome. Welcome to Northeast.
Thank you. Well, actually, it's my second time in Northeast. I was a lieutenant here from 2012 to 14. Anyway, I brought some props for you guys. Here, I'll try and put them here in the center. You can take a look at this. Some of the wires that are all back to them. Okay, so how did we get here? My real job is I'm the narcotics gang lieutenant, narcotics gang vice lieutenant for Central Division, downtown Los Angeles. And in about a couple of years ago, I did the catalytic converter task force. It was successful, to break down a bunch of the big crews that are working in the city stealing catalytic converters. And we did it through taking some of the resources that we had at Central Division and retooling them and having them go work some of these other problems citywide. Did that with a majority, through a majority of divisions here in downtown, in Los Angeles, not just downtown. We impacted that problem. So we had a plan in place for this stuff. Back in February of 2024, we had the big rip-off of the wire on the 6th Street Bridge that kind of brought the issue of copper wire to the forefront of people talking about. This beautiful bridge, to the east of part of downtown was plunging in darkness. And I kind of, they took a look and said, well, what can we do to do it? And my name came up, and we already had this modular task force that was out there working various things. So we went ahead and got spun up on it. The council district then, that was Kevin DeLeon, who was the council member of CB14. He and Tracy Park got together some discretionary funding and funded the task force. And what basically we did is we took from the greatest 3 impacted areas within Central Bureau, that would be Hollenbeck Division, which is East Los Angeles, and Central, and Newton, which is South Los Angeles. Those were our three major theaters that we're going to work in a lot. So each one of them gave up an officer when they came to work for me as an ancillary position. And we kind of took a look at what we had to do. Essentially, what happened was, back in about 2018, 2020, prior to that, we had a scrap metal detail that ran our commercial crimes division. And what they did is they had citywide jurisdiction to kind of monitor some of these scrap yards, who were the end receivers of metal, be it ferrous or non-ferrous, or copper or iron and things like that. And during the defund movement, that was one of the first things that we didn't need, according to when the city had to make their priorities. That was one of the first things that was cut. So basically, from about 2019, 2020 to about 2024, we didn't have any enforcement at all. It was kind of the wild, wild west in the metal world. So what happened was, without anybody kind of checking the end recipients of this wire, we noticed a huge uptick in it. And it became dramatic in both the street lighting and construction materials that were so stolen so frequently, as well as telecommunications, which was particularly a huge interest of ours because it represents a lifeline for so many of our citizens out there. So the telecom cable and the fiber optic cables. So what we did is we established this task force, and we began working right away, monitoring some of the high frequency theft sites. As soon as they fix a street light or a particular area near the bridges, we'd be surveilling and actually catch people coming and pull wire. And that's how it started. And then as we kind of built up our expertise on this, we made a lot of private public partnerships, both with some of the major telecom companies, Verizon, some of the cable companies, as well as DWP, Bureau of Street Lighting, and made meaningful partnerships with them. And because this was such an underpoliced thing for so many years, there was we had to have folks that kind of stood in to become experts on this stuff. And that's, again, each one of the officers that worked in this area. And they provided, they worked in the task force, and they provided liaison with the areas that work. So each one would go back to their assigned areas, talk to them about the crimes that were going on, we would assume all investigative responsibility for all those crimes that happened within those 3 areas, and we would investigate them centrally. So, a lot of surveillance, a lot of, kind of, chasing dots, trying to get to understand how this dynamic occurs. So in just over a year, we had our year anniversary in March. Still in a pilot stage, still hoping for continued funding in next fiscal year, but we've arrested about 240 people for either the theft of copper or related crimes. 11 guns, number of stolen vehicles, and this is a big industrial business. Okay? And generally, the way it happens is you've got folks who are actually doing their thefts. I know that someone mentioned there are homeless people. Yeah, some of the homeless, some of the people who are substance addicted are the kind of the foot soldiers, but they take that copper and they work in teams. There's teams of people, so it's a commercial aspect of it. And then once they have it, there's legislation that's in place in each one of these scrap yards in how you can sell it, what requirements they have to be able to sell it. So what we found is that the folks that were doing the theft weren't necessarily the people that were passing on the copper to the yard. So there was a middleman in place that would buy it at a discount and then utilize his identification or his business license to go ahead and sell it to the copper, to the copper owners. What we did on that is we reinvigorated the enforcement, the compliance portion of it. So now the officers that are working the task force go out during the week. They've, a couple times first few times we went out these yards and conducted yard inspections looking for stolen property, kind of kept them flat-footed because they hadn't seen a police officer in 3 or 4 years. So once we got there, we got a whole bunch of stuff. But as time's gone by, we're in more of a maintenance cycle now, because they know that if we show up at one yard, we're going to be showing up at other yards, and they talk. They're pretty savvy about this stuff. But now that they know that we're looking, we've seen a tremendous reduction in the amount of copper that's coming in. And I know that we talked about some of the BSL issues, and you mentioned about some of the utility holes with the covers on. Folks, I'll be real on this. There is very little that you can do to prevent the theft from happening. It's a fact of life. We have now a generation of tools that can be held in your hand that can cut through any amount of welding that goes on there, or any kind of steps that we take to try and harden that target. Unfortunately, you go to Harbor Freight, whatever here, buy a cordless grinder, and you can get through any of the steps that we take to kind of harden that target within a few seconds, and they're not very expensive. So we've had to look at other means of trying to prevent this stuff. In addition to going out there and doing the work of putting people in jail who are stealing it and identifying commercial recipients of it and hitting the recycling routes. We've worked hard within our city family. We've adopted some legislation that hopefully is going to come through soon, making the possession of telecom cable, which is this stuff here.
Can I ask you what that was?
Sure. So this is a really mild one, and I'll pass this out so folks can see. If you see all these little pieces of copper in there, there's 220 individual wires within this sheet. So what happens is they don't. It'd be laborious to sit there and strip it all to the metal yard. So what they'll do, sadly, is they'll just burn it, which causes a whole bunch of other stuff because there's oil and things on and it makes it a very toxic environment for them to do that. So it damages the environment. There's a whole host of issues that come into that, to those problems. So what we've done is we proposed through CB14, the last council member, we proposed that this cable be unlawful to possess. Even, there's nobody that needs to have this cable. This isn't applicable towards buildings. I mean, everybody thinks that it's some, everybody should have access to it. The reality is no one should have access to it besides the telecom companies and their So I'll pass this around, and then the other thing is, here I included some fiber optic wire here. So sadly, when they're looking and they're trying to harvest copper, oftentimes, they will, and this is like 30 cents for the copper. But the problem is, the object of the theft doesn't even come close to the amount it costs to replace. And you'll see that as, and this is the thinnest one that we have. We have ones that are 2.5 to 3 inches thick.
We said that for $20, it costs the city like $3,000.
Yeah.
$30,000 to fix.
Not necessarily 30, I mean, if you can imagine all these, who went to the electric shop in high school or outside that kind of stuff, to solder all those pieces on those connectors is a lot of, it's a lot of work. So I'll pass this out, you guys can kind of take a look at it. So fiber optic wire has 0 copper. So when they come and they knock out your internet, it becomes a problem because they're, not only are they're getting nothing back here, which is bad. We talked about the wiring on the bridges. We talked about the wiring in the streetlights. What do you guys think that looks like? It's big industrial thick stuff. No, it's actually here at the top, just right there. Look, speaker wire. Just regular wire. So what we try to do now is we've also made some recommendations to the city attorney that future wire that's placed in the construction development in the city is either somehow the sheathing will have some identification, the wire will be etched. Just basically easily more readily identifiable as stolen. So I'll pass this out as well if you guys want to take a look at it. We've recovered well over 100,000 pounds of copper. We had just prior to October last year, we had a big press conference and we talked about the successes of our program and the wires still keep on coming. We arrest 5 or 6 people a week, every week during these various operations that we run. And then we send people out to these drawers all the time. And every now and then we find crazy stuff. We've recovered gravestones. We've recovered statues stolen from USC. We've recovered a lot of weird, wacky brass valves from underneath the they'll go ahead and dig up anything, because again, it represents money there. So for you, it's something, but for someone who's got a criminal mind, it represents they're walking by money. I'll pick it up.
Lieutenant, we're going to open it up for a few questions. I noticed that, yes, of course. So we're going to open it for a few questions, if you don't mind answering some of these questions.
Oh,
please,
absolutely,
sir.
absolutely.
Okay, let's start off with Deanna.
I have 2 quick ones.
Quick.
Legislation that you're looking to pass, are you aiming to have a misdemeanor, felony, or a wobbler?
Okay, we're aiming to have possession of telecom wire be a misdemeanor. We have, the folks that got arrested by the task force were generally, they fall into 2 or 3 different categories. Theft of copper wire, felony or misdemeanor, and then vandalism, felonies and misdemeanors. Those are the things that we went the same rules as everybody else. The compliance thing, the compliance aspect of it, with the yards, those are generally municipal code violations and or business and professions codes. Those are mostly misdemeanors, but in some cases, we had people that maybe didn't learn the lesson the first couple of times we saw them, and we ended up, putting cases of.
And the second question, the 240 arrests that you've had, how many of them were successful prosecution?
I'm almost like I paid you to ask this question. We enjoy an over 95% filing rate, which is probably higher than most units in the city. And it's that way because, again, we have some built-in expertise now. Initially, a lot of the DAs and CAs were hesitant to be able to file this stuff because they wouldn't understand it. But once we build up our expertise and we develop these partnerships with the private sector, we really came from a position where we're able to be very knowledgeable and able to secure our
You're able to
our position.
mark the eyes for the case so you get prosecuted.
We even have, if you can believe it, we even had some repeat customers. We've arrested the same people 2 and 3 times, but again, that's that's the nature of police work in the modern era.
Second question, Audit.
Thank you. I mean, I think it's good to do the possession as a crime, but what about the receiving stolen property? Why not also charge the people who are giving them the money, you know, they get,
Oh,
if
we
it,
do.
okay,
Absolutely.
there are laws for that?
We looked at, again, we talked about this aspect of how folks receive it prior to selling it to the scrapyards. Because if, for example, if you have an ID card, you can't sell it to a scrapyard. So someone with an ID card would buy it for 50 cents on the dollar and then take that to the scrapyard and sell it. So we targeted those people, kind of the middlemen, as well as the scrapyards. And during these various inspections, we'd go to these yards and we'd find oftentimes 12 by 12 by 6 bins filled with stolen telecom wire. And we were able to go get folks to identify that as being theirs. The wire does have some identification marks that even we now know they exist. Get the wire back to the proper owner, and we would cite the person for either receiving stolen property or some element of damage.
Is it misdemeanor?
Last question? Somebody, go ahead.
What's the size of your team, of your task force, and do you work with the local, area, divisions and make that size of the team, like, bigger to target specific neighborhoods where you see, high frequency, of this? And my second question is the wire being sold to local scrapyards, or is it being shipped out of the neighborhoods or out of the city or maybe in other states? Because we may have a legislation in place, but other cities, counties may not.
Certainly. Okay, so all this was done with 4 officers and a lieutenant. However, like we had an operation today, we had 21 police officers on overtime come in, and they investigated, they worked off of our, looked for our existing warrant suspects. We placed them at high frequency theft locations, looking for folks who were stealing, and they did a compliance check. So it was a lot, and those were all leveraged by overtime. Just like, I believe the CD13 talked about BSL, grocery letting, having to pay crews overtime. It's because there's just not enough of us, to be honest with you, and this is the only way we can really leverage this to be able to make this kind of outcome happen. Central Division, where I work, is down about 75 officers from our normal strength. So it's hard enough to get the radio calls and provide the necessary police services, besides do this really, enhanced stuff.
One last question. Go ahead, my dear.
So I have a question. I actually am wondering, have you looked into gang members actually teaching homeless people how to do this stripping of the wires and recycling? And the reason that I ask is that I have some personal observations of this happening, and it was sort of wondering if you thought of that. They're basically creating apprentices for this type of work.
This may come as a shock, but it's not necessarily people that are more criminally savvy. With that said, part of our responsibility, and this goes to John's question, was we've had the fortune of having one Northeast officer come and work our task force on overtime, and he brought back to Northeast a bunch of specific knowledge. He's actually testified as an expert on this, and so you have some expertise here, and when we have high loss crimes, maybe low frequency, high intensity crimes, we'll offer investigative support and things like that. And then ultimately, the big picture was, should the funding come along, would be, take this to other parts, but there's certain divisions in the city that don't need us at all. But some certain places that have a high density of scrapyards, a high density of recreational vehicles, like these homeless encampments that are parked of, sadly, that's where you see the major amount of issues that arise out of it.
And so, folks, if you have any more questions for Lieutenant Mathis, thanks so much for being here, sir. I know it was the last minute, so I didn't thank you so much. Please provide your information. It is on your agendas, by the way. Go ahead and.
You have my
I don't have a cell, but I do have your email address.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good one. We do have specific tip line that we used to run, but sadly, no one gave us tips.
Well, what is it, dude?
No one gave us tips. No, we shut it down. We go through Crime Stoppers, the Crime Stoppers program, and, you know what, I think your best vehicle to get this stuff, I know 4 of the SLOs in this room, personally. So, get the information to your SLOs, and they can really reach out and contact me if they need something immediate.
Does Northeast have an officer that doesn't?
I think Gracia, he knows his stuff
No, Gracia.
better than most.
Okay.
And then, like I said, we do offer any kind of enforcement expertise out there.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Applause, folks, applause. These are the kinds of presentations we like to Northeast CPAP. This is right up our alley. Thank you again for being here, Lieutenant. Very much appreciated. Moving on, single officer updates. Start off with Hernandez.
Yes, Hernandez.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. Officer Hernandez. I'm the senior community officer for the Eagle Rock community. So just a quick update, what's going on. Obviously, a lot of kids are going back to school from spring break. So with that, we'll be doing a lot of traffic enforcement with making sure they get home on, to school and back home on time. We've been doing a lot of foot fees, making our presence known, also at the recreational centers as well, along with the Eagle Rock Plaza, because you know that there's a high number of thefts there as well. So our main goal right now is to make our presence known, let them know that we're there to help, and also there for traffic enforcement for the children going back to school, to and from back to school. Other than that, that's all.
Thank you so much. Moving on.
Senator Hernandez from Hollywood. I've been doing some extra patrols to set the bonds. I've been trying to work with the managers and staff there, because we've been having an influx in actual thefts coming out of the store. So we've been doing a lot of foot beats, actually clear aisles and stuff, just so people see us that we're there. Also been doing extra patrols at an empty residence out on Healy Road. Getting complaints from residents that they've been actually breaking in there. I guess they still have live water and power. So I was trying to get in contact with the actual owner to see how we can kind of get that stuff shut down so people stop trying to break into there. Also, traffic education at the Legals Academy. We're getting some complaints of early morning people dropping their kids off and committing certain minor violations, traffic violations. So we're actually out there with traffic unit and just doing education with the parents, speaking to the parents about the way they drive and the way they drop off the kids early in the morning, just to make sure everybody stays safe and things like that. So that's a real good conversation. That's really all it was conversation with the parents. And as far as it, that's all you have for this topic.
Thank you very much. Gina? So we'll ask.
Senior Lead Officer Jose Ramirez. Silver Lake, Franklin Hills, right now we've been doing some education with parents over at John Marshall. We've had a lot of issues. I've been working with Council District 4 field deputies and trying to get the curbs painted. They have a large amount of special education kids, some kids with autism, disabilities, physical disabilities, and we tend to have a lot of the parents actually parking in the handicap or the loading and unloading of where the buses park for them. A lot of the kids there are actually blind, and the problem that is creating is traffic congestion. So right now I've been working with school police. We haven't cited anyone for over 2 months. It's more of an educational purpose, but you know the parents still tend to like to argue with us. That it's just a quick minute. They can't understand why. We try to explain to the parents. So we're getting a lot of, we're growing with the staff from the school and trying to promote, more education. And we might start doing some enforcement, but right now, my main purpose is trying to get those curbs painted so they're nice and bright and yellow and red, so we don't have those type of issues anymore. We're also promoting attendance for the elementary kids for LAUSD. One way we've been doing that, I guess I've been having a lot of issues with a lot of kids missing school, so I volunteer along with some of the firemen. We have lunch with them, and we get to engage with them during their lunch for 25 minutes or 15 minutes, and then they go on to recess. But some of the kids, they have some very interesting stories, so if there's anybody that would like to maybe participate or get some kind of experience or have some kind of connections for some oranges or something we can share or eat with the kids while we're having conversation. That's all I have.
Thank you. Next.
Hello, everybody. This is Officer Luis Reyes. This is for Cypress Park and Glassell Park. I've been spending my time doing foot beats up at the Harbor Freight due to the ongoing thefts that happen at that location. Since then, a lot of thefts have gone down. Also spending a lot of time on paying attention to the removal of gang graffiti in the neighborhood. If you guys have any clothes, feel free, just share it and I'll hand it. Feel free, just share it and I'll hand it out to the kids in my neighborhood. There's a lot of poor kids in my area, out in the Cypress Park area, and they are very grateful when they get clothes for their children.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Gina Pailini. I cover the Solano, Elysian, and Echo Park communities. I'll start with Officer Grass. I'll start at the top, and then I'll finish mine being at the very bottom. Officer Grass, we have that expert here. He was an expert in talking about and working with his community in the Los Feliz area. He was alerted to some of these electrical boxes on the sidewalk with cords that were cut, and this went on for blocks. And based on the information that he received from the community, believe it or not, you are our pioneers, he was able to formulate a plan, and we actually got one. And the damage, after it was all said and done, it was estimated that $392,000 of damage was done, okay? And so he contacted, Ellie, forgot what again, he's very resourceful. He contacted a lot of city entities, and he expedited some of those damages to be fixed. So again, the partnership, thank you very much as a community that you work with us. So that's the good news in the Los Feliz community. For me, in 95's area, I've been really focused on, actually the slows have also been focusing a lot as well, is reaching out to our high schools. It's prom, it's graduation. We talk about have fun. This is the beginning of a new era for you as you move on to adulthood. But be careful with your proms. We talk about drug usage and drinking and driving. So that's some of the efforts that we've been focusing on. That's it.
Excellent, thank you, Gina. Entertain one or two questions for any senior officer that has to do with public safety. Go ahead, Cameron.
I just had a clarification on that children's clothing that you mentioned that you need in your area. What are the ages for the children that need that?
Anywhere below 7 years.
Thank you.
Sir.
This is for East Hollywood Division or the Northeast in general. Numerous times I've been assaulted by security guards at the Blue Building, armed for walking down the sidewalk. During Easter celebration this weekend, Audit LA was not allowed to access the sidewalk by security guards. What is Northeast Division going to do to enforce Scientology, which one of the members here at CPAC, Janet Whelan, is a Scientologist? The city has last year numerous times told them that the permits do not include street closures. They are picking off and stopping protesters who are there exercising their First Amendment right. I also won a court case where the judge said that they were right.
Sir, I just want to know about public safety.
This is absolutely about public safety.
So this is about Scientology, but I get it.
It's.
But again, we want
public
you,
safety.
we
So
want
I
to
want
hear,
to know.
sir, we want to hear your voice, but we want you to focus specifically on the issue
Yeah,
of public safety.
it's public safety. If I've been assaulted, is that not a public safety? Am I a member of the public? So I have, okay, so I made numerous complaints with the Northeast Division. I have not been allowed to file a PPA. Scientologists have been allowed to file PPAs, which is a private person arrest, which is a form. And so what is the Northeast going to do for the public safety to allow people to access the sidewalk who has different views? And the city has already put emails out. What is Northeast Division going to do to stop Scientology from stopping protesters from accessing the public street?
Thank you for your comment. I'm sure that if you have submitted your requests to the proper entities, they will address those entities.
They haven't, and that's why I'm here talking.
Again, this is not the venue for
The police board?
No, this is not the police board, the Community
That's
Policing
not-
Advisory Board. So we're talking about community policing issues in our neighborhood,
Yeah,
as
that's-
you have already stated. So again, we've heard you, the senior officer has heard you, the captain has heard you, the sergeant has heard you. So we do appreciate your voices.
So Janet Whelan's a Scientologist, she's
We're
a
not-
member of the board, so how is
Again,
it not
again,
part of
she's
it?
not Scientology, she is a community member.
She's a
She's a,
science,
sir,
she's a
I'm sorry,
representative
she's a
of
community member. She has the right to be here as you do.
Yeah,
Okay. So,
so you're not gonna answer the question?
go ahead, Duncan.
I just wanted to,
The
acknowledge.
fuck's the point of doing that shit, then, if you're not gonna answer the question?
I just wanted to, acknowledge and sincerely thank our senior leads, for assisting Los Feliz Hills residents. We had a major neighborhood in the Los Feliz Hills neighborhood, where according to, Bureau of Street Lighting, over 110, street lights are out. So there's like, blocks and blocks of the, copper wire is completely gone. And, Officer Gracia and, Gina, came and they used their, city, contacts and got DWP to show up immediately to cover the very dangerous for, pedestrian, manhole covers with wires, sticking out, so, and DWP came and they immediately, fixed those, dangerous, hazards. So I really wanted to thank our heroes. Thank you.
Thank you. Take one last question before we go on.
Well, it's more of a, also on the thank you, I just want to thank Officer Ramirez. He has helped me in the past with, enactments on how to sense it. And that's where I used to live. So technically, I grew up in Silver Lake, but, so I just want to thank him. He actually also, fully learned, and invited me to run a 5K that's happening in December. So I'm very grateful for him.
Thank you to all our senior officers for doing the job that you do in our community. Thank you. So moving on, folks, we're gonna get to the, last but not least, update reports from our captain.
All right, got a few things. So we did have, so Dodger season started. We have a little bit of an increase in our car burglaries and theft of motor vehicles. Much of it is, the increase is attributed to Dodger Stadium with the Dodgers, just a little bit here and there, and then up in Griffith Park. But no patterns in general. Converter thefts are really down. So we've been keeping a tight lid on that. Let's see, didn't have any homicides, robberies are down, just a little bit of increase in aggravated assaults. Those would be, assault with a deadly weapon, felony batteries. Much of that increase is attributed to homeless type crimes, hitting each other with sticks and things. So we've had quite a few of those. We do make arrests on those, but the filing rate on those is not very high normally, and we're kind of stuck with those. Our deployment, we do have the most deployment citywide. We put out 9 cars on our day watch and our morning watch. That is tied for most of the city. So by contrast, I use Van Nuys area, that's out in San Fernando Valley. They put out 5 cars as their minimum. So we almost double theirs with about the same amount of personnel. So we get our people to come to work. We don't have as many sick call-outs and people out sick. So we were able to put those officers out on deployment. And, all right, so there was an increase in gang graffiti. When we see those, the issues that pop up is, what's the retaliation gonna be? Much like I worked northeast here in patrol in the 90s. There's a lot of gang activity, especially in our east side. Back then, gang members used to walk around the street pretty brazenly out in the middle of the night. Figueroa, York, Cypress Park, Glassell Park, that was pretty commonplace. Nowadays, they don't really look as much like a gang member like they used to. They look more traditional now, baseball hats, normal clothes, but they're still doing the tagging. So when we see the tagging, we try to reduce that right away, see who's doing the tagging, and see if there's gonna be a retaliation to the tagging, kind of like the old school gang member type activity. So we try to pick those out. Our gang officers are out there with our patrols and our senior leads to try to eliminate that right away. There was one particular place here in off Estara and Fletcher that had a ton of graffiti. It was painted out, someone else had painted it out, and painted it out again, and painted it out again, and you couldn't even tell who was painting it out. So because it looked bad, we were able to paint that over. The mural, unfortunately, was destroyed, but from the graffiti, but we painted that over, and the graffiti looked like it was from a different area. So to prevent any of the retaliatory type incidents, that was eliminated. So we haven't had any significant gang incidents, unlike what you're hearing in the news elsewhere. I think we've been doing a really good job with that. We do that because the deployment's high here in our northeast area. So that's that. The copper wire that you had mentioned, I don't know, Gina, so on that one, once we figured that out, we actually sent out, my watch manager decided that, hey, they're probably gonna hit again up here in Los Feliz was up. One of the major thefts that we made there was Inverness, that's just a little bit north of Los Feliz, and just a little bit west of Riverside. And then the other one was off of, I can't remember the street now, I think I had it.
Brian, you should know that.
Can't remember the other street, but that was about a quarter mile away. So what they were doing is they came in pairs. So when we set up on it, we put them in a plain car, and we just set up on the corner. So what those wires are doing is they're running between the manholes, and they're cutting them on each side, and they're yanking the wire. There's probably conduit in between the ground, and they're pulling the wire like they would pull any conduit, but they're pulling it, a quarter mile's worth, and it's really not that much. There's not that much scrap value to it. It might be $100, $50 worth, but $30,000 worth of repair, to get crews out there and it cuts off all the lights and all the inconvenience it causes. So we were able to make the arrest. We only got one of the guys, and what we actually look out for and pass that on is they came on bikes. We only caught one of the two, so the other one took off. We weren't able to catch them there. We slipped in the middle of the night. And they came with backpacks, so they came with bags, so that's how they're hauling it out. And this was 2 in the morning, so they're not doing it during the daytime, they're doing it 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and that's really when, that's the optimum time to do those thefts, that's when they're doing them. The burglaries, on the other hand, we had a few, a couple months ago in Mount Washington. Those are citywide crews. We do have our Metropolitan Division working those crews. They know mostly who they are, they've got information on them, they pretty much know where they go, and they're able to track their location. So when they hit, they like to hit during the daytime hours, middle of the day, or into the early evening hours, and they know people aren't home. So a lot of them send the bruises, they act like they're a driver, or they poke around the door, knock on the door, see if anyone answers. If no one answers, there's a good likelihood that no one's home. And that's when they'll make entry. Usually it's through the backyard or through a side yard, so they're not visible to the street. So just to be on the lookout for that. And then one more thing, you did hear about the tree cutting suspect downtown. So that did have a little bit of an impact here. That suspect was able to cut part of a tree here, part of a tree limb, but most of the tree cutting was done in downtown and a little bit in a Rampart area that is just west of downtown. We put out that info right away. Before you even saw it on the news, we already had the guy in custody. So the news was a little bit behind what we had. So as soon as we put that out, the suspect was very obvious. He was on a bike, had a bag, and he was, as we expected, homeless, a long criminal history for theft-related narcotics, and probably had some mental illness to go with that. So it was 300, and I think the value that our detectives estimated was $320,000 worth of trees. I don't know how many cut down, but it was a lot. So that's it for.
Any
I think
questions?
that didn't have too much to do with us.
Any questions for Captain? Go ahead, Philip. Quickly, please.
Captain, curious on the copper wire. Has there been within the radar of all the policing and discussion with the Bureau when they retrofit and repair the lights, any kind of alarm system that?
Yeah, that's obviously beyond our.
Well, I was just curious.
They don't consult us.
Yeah, you haven't heard of it?
I doubt there's going to be any additional effort to do that. There's probably millions of miles worth of wire, and probably not a realistic thing to do.
Thank you. Brian?
Just have a question, because I know budgets have to be a big concern with everybody that's happening. And this was put out by one of the council offices, and it says that between the fire and police, that's 61.2% of the budget. And what this person is saying, I'm just curious about this. He said that obviously LAPD has been declining, because you guys are having problems hiring people. But then it says, this doesn't say that this, he writes, it says, this doesn't tell us the police are doing a good job or a bad job stopping crime. It tells us public safety is all about more than just policing. And he goes on to say that that 8% of your calls are violent crime calls. The rest of the calls go to 911 are not. And we saying is that they need to bring up non-violent people to answer those calls. The other, where it was 92%, and that would alleviate the need for the LAPD.
We were talking about this next. Well, I'll just spend 30 seconds to address that. And I mean, it's a great idea. There's a lot of proposals about having non-sworn civilian enforcement doing literally everything but handle the violent crime. The problem is these are all great ideas, and there's just nothing's been done on it. But do you know who's available 24 hours, 7 days a week, every day of the year? The police department and the fire department. So we're the first ones that get called for literally everything. Because when you call for, you know, a dog running around the street, well, animal regulation is only available sometimes, if you can even if they're available. So we'll get the call, and we'll always respond. You know, and sometimes the outcomes may not be what we would like it to be. You know, you watch the news, and you see some bad outcomes sometimes, and unfortunately, we're the ones called, and people expect us to go. And that's just the simple fact of the matter.
Does the chief of police, go to the city council and this is what you just said?
Well, there's a lot of proposals out there. I don't really follow a lot of the issues. I know after the 2020, George Floyd, protests and all those things, these were great ideas out there, but unfortunately, nothing's really gone off the ground. Our circle program, that's something that's getting a lot of traction. That's grant funded by the city. They've expanded it to all of Northeast starting this summer, if it's not already started. So, Circle.
All of Northeast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Them being here, you made your point that they needed to be here, so they changed their maps to include.
So they expanded it. We only had those
Literally.
East Hollywood in the beginning, but it's all in Northeast.
It's all in
34
Northeast.
divisions. So it's a great idea, but but the moment someone shows up with a knife, they're not going, and the police department's expected to go. So
thank you.
I just think it would be nice for the city council.
No, I agree, but these are things that you would have to address with your elected officials.
So moving on. We're gonna move on. So if you have any questions with regard to crime, I know what your question is. I'm gonna get to that in a sec. So if you have any questions, you can always talk to your city officers, because they basically are carrying this man's mantle. So always feel like you can always talk to your senior officers. If you don't have their access or contact information, which is what we normally pass out after every meeting, which I don't have today, please talk to them here now today so you can discuss it. One last question before we move on to public comment, real quick.
Pertaining directly to Igorot, pertaining to the incident that happened on Waldo Place with the 3 individuals that came through.
Yes.
A lot of different information on potential outcomes. People would like to know, were all 3 arrested, or how many of the 3 were arrested?
So on that one, we're not quite sure what happened with the CHP. We know CHP was following or in pursuit of the car. They crashed right above 134, just a little bit west of Figueroa. They came down the hillside. That's when we were called to back up CHP. We got there. There was a lot of noise, a lot of confusion. CHP helicopter was overhead. Our helicopter became overhead. CHP intermingled. They ran all over the place. They had rifles everywhere. Our guys weren't sure quite what was going on. And when we see them with rifles, we become concerned that it's more than just hit and run suspects. So one of those hit and run suspects was arrested. The other 2 escaped. We did never locate them, even though we got our permit up real quick. CHP decided that it was a misdemeanor hit and run, and they ended up releasing that suspect. That suspect was not booked, and the only one that was booked and arrested was Ms. Schreiner from Waldo Place. So Waldo, yeah. As it turned out, there's a press release out on it. As it turned out, she did discharge her firearm once, and evidence was recovered. We have all the video.
Also just to let you know, I was the one who found the $4,000 car in the trash can.
Oh, okay. That was the one. Okay. Did we recover that? If not, then
did we hear something?
I did that to FID.
Do you want me to discuss?
Yeah, apparently the report was that one of the suspects.
It's related to an overpaid sheriff's department.
Yeah, we think they were probably doing home burglary somewhere
They took it from
in the valley. Where?
They stole it from Wicker Park.
So that's what we suspected. We didn't have evidence of that.
Evidence, you hold evidence. Moving on. Public comment. Audit LA.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You
I
got it, Jesse.
I appreciate it. I wanted to, I forget, Ms. Hernandez's rep's name. I forget. Okay, I'd like to get your card too. And I know, Carla, you got to hear me out at the East Hollywood bid. And basically, I want to talk about what did happen on Easter Sunday at, it is really about the special event permits that they abused the terms with every single one, the Scientology, and I'm sorry, it's just facts. And whether it's noise pollution and it's driving the neighbors nuts, the neighbors are begging for help from police, from Council District 13, and, they're at their wits' end. It's also they're not allowed, they only have vehicle where they can prohibit vehicles only. They cannot prohibit pedestrians. And the city attorney has flat out said that's it. There's no special exceptions, nothing. Okay, but they don't want to hear that, so they shut it down even when they say no. I mean, when the city attorney says they can't do that. And they do, and that's called, prior restraint. That's viewpoint discrimination. And it's very illegal. I already have it's already at the point where the city is going to be liable to so many lawsuits because I have a right to sue if I want to. It happened to me too many times. And so now with your boss being on Public Works, okay, she has oversight over BSS in some level, and also Councilman Hugo, because BSS said, well, we've been giving out giving out the permits because we haven't had any feedback from any city council members. So I am asking both of you to, if they want to, they're not in good standing at this point because they've never followed any of the rules. Oh, and also the fire lane. Okay, if you want to talk about public safety, okay, they had the entire street closed off where they are required to have a 20-foot fire lane required. Now, before they would have like this kind of makeshift maze thing, and the fire chief said, well, yeah, it slows me down, but I can get through. But this time, no, it was, and you had hundreds of children in a street where a fire truck or an ambulance could not get through. They would have to go all the way around to the other end. That is public safety, and that's a violation, okay?
That's why I asked you to speak on it. So
Right, and that's why I follow. It's not that I hate, I just hate, I don't hate any Scientologists. I'm worried about their safety. Actually, my friend's father is held in there. I worry about Janet because, I know for a fact that she's not in a good place physically and stuff, and that that she's being abused, really.
But I think definitely have a council representative here.
Yeah, right, so that's why so thank you. I'll be really brief because I want to talk, but the two officers, I want to say LAPD came and told them, no, you cannot do this, and they made them open up that sidewalk. So I'm giving them commendations here. I'm here to do that today.
Give them props.
Oh, no, I'm going to give them actual commendations in their, because they deserve it. They honored their oath. But as soon as they left, Captain, and I like Captain Hom, he's, he always gets back to you. That's what I like about him. He actually emails you back. But as soon as the officers left, they went right back to closing up the sidewalk to viewpoint discriminate. They picked and choose who they allowed in. And so they are still defying LAPD orders. Right there, a minute later.
So now they know.
Yes, and thank you. That's why I wanted this. And I want to talk to Officer Sergeant Rivas, that he will help me do the accommodations.
Thank you, my dear.
Thank you, and thank you for always letting us talk. I think you're the best CPAB I've ever seen. I've been to numerous. Seriously, this guy, he No, you let people talk. I mean, appreciate you for that. Even though I know you had like a little conflict, we have different styles.
We're not here to
But-
debate and argue, we're here to talk.
But he was absolutely right with what they're doing. He's just frustrated because when I told you about the woman whose father's trapped in there, that's his partner. And so, he's very personal.
It's just, sometimes
Yeah.
we can only do so much as an advisory capacity.
I get it. But we're hoping you can put a bug in their ear to do more for,
You're here, so they're
okay, because we want to rescue her dad, Phil Anderson.
Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you.
Make it quick, Jesse.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I just want to invite the cadets to participate on the 5K. Usually they come. Last year they missed it, and I don't know why. The previous captain used to run with the kids as well. And I'm here to invite them to participate. I guess the cadets, but everybody in the Northeast area, all the neighborhood. We give them the t-shirt free and the medals as well. And that's sponsored by the previous councilman, the t-shirts and some of the businesses that they promote the 5K. I hope see you, anybody there on the 5K, and looking forward to see the captain as well. Thank you.
Thank you. And where's your flyer, sir?
I'm only for her meeting, so she knows me. Just tell her it's all in the way. If I send you video, can I, like, maybe I'll get on her, because I don't know how to email her. Like if I email you. That's all I ask. Thank you, I appreciate it.
I'm in the Lotus Festival committee, and we're gonna be hosting a Lotus Festival over in Echo Park. And I was given the responsibility of overseeing and putting together a security sort of task force. So I would love to chat with you about that.
On that note, no more chat. I need to have someone introduce a motion to, go ahead. Thank you, Phil. Can I get a second? Thank you, Sonia. All in favor? Thank you for being here.
I'll do these commendations, because they did it. I give credit where credit's due. I'll give complaints are due. Hi, how are you? Thank you. Good, how about you? Good.
Are you gonna be here every month?
Maybe. Maybe, I don't know.
No.
Maybe.
Have you at our Christmas party?
There you go, I get to know you all, right? Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you
So
too.
you got anybody from Australia?
I'm gonna bring you back to the table. You can stay right here. Okay, you want me to stay here? Okay, yeah, I'll come over here and. Yeah, that's good. Oh, yeah. No, hold on.
What's your email address again?
It's audit, AUDIT, dot, N-I-N.
I-N?
Yep. Dot L-A. At Gmail.
Yeah. Okay, because I want to send you an email. I was at the East Hollywood bid on Zoom though. So I heard you talking about the signs and the legitimacy of the signs.
That was the one previous, because somebody was replacing you this time.
So Rolone, Officer Rolone is actually, he's assisting with me, if that makes sense, right? He's helping me out. He's seeing if he's trying to learn the position. I guess. So he's assisting me. So I was with him, and I said, hey, make sure we email her to find out. I want to know.
Yeah, he never did.
No, okay. I'll
I have a CASP report to give you.
A what?
A CASP report.
Okay, what is that?
We paid like $800 to document all the ADA violations. Remember, it started off with the you know what? Maybe he did. You know what? I might be mistaken. Maybe he did.
I asked him,
but he didn't give me any information. I thought you were talking about something else. I think I did send him the report. I think you're right.
I asked him. I said, hey, reach out to her because I want to know.
I think he did.
Which
think
one
of
she's
it.
talking about.
I think he did. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you meant with the answer from. Because I'm thinking two different things. I think you meant with answers from what he did.
So
okay, I think he did.
So basically what we're doing is the signs you were talking about. We're gonna try to find out the legitimacy of those signs.
Okay, but it's also the no parking. It's not just the signs.
Right. That's the ones you were talking about, the no parking.
Well,
signs,
yeah, but also they enforce no parking. So I sent a CASP report. We paid $800 for them to do it. It's something that could go into the port. The very next day, they removed the planners because they knew.
I saw the planners.
Yeah, but that's the day after I released that report because they know I'm ready to sue them. Yeah, if not, I'll send it to you again.
Send it to me too.
But it's items number 14 through 17 because it deals with how the parking signs are illegitimate and it looks like it's not a no parking but it's something I need from the city to say yes, there's a parking allowed or no because they're saying no parking, but the city cannot show me any proof that is a legit no parking for the whole street, not just the signs, but that the street is legit no parking.
So that's what I'm gonna check on. Give me a little bit of time because I'll be honest, city entities, talking for most city entities, other city entities takes a while. I'm not even gonna try to lie to you. So, give me a little bit of time. If they're not legitimate, I will find out who in the city we have to talk to and get them taken down.
Taken down, but also to open up parking on that street.
Now,
There's a lot of nurses, like the nurses, they want to be able to park there.
now, if for whatever reason though, the city comes up and says, hey, these are legitimate.
That's fine, then no. If it's legit, I have no problem with that. If the city put it there and the city said, yes, this is absolutely a no parking street, I respect that, but prove it to me. Because Scientology, they do that. I think that, I think they painted the right, unless they can prove otherwise, because the city can't prove that it's closed. But the city is enforcing it. They write tickets to people parked there.
Well, I mean, yeah, they're gonna see a red,
Right,
they're gonna see the red curve, they're not gonna know that it's gonna
Right,
fight.
see, I question, because I know how, because it's the only street in LA that's no parking.
So, the whole red curve, the whole street's no parking.
Yeah, but there's no red curb. No, there's no red curb.
Right, but from Fountain all the way to Sunset.
Yeah. Yeah, because nobody can park there.
I will check on that for you.
All right, and then if so, you have to open it to the community. So I advocate for the community.
No, I get you.
Because you're there slow too.
I understand it. Like, I'm not on side, so I agree. If they're not legitimate, it needs to be open.
Everyone thinks that like they have so much influence because, it seems like they do. You have to understand, because like even the neighbors who have been upset about the music, the noise, the woofers, and all that stuff. And I got a sound thing. I'm gonna track the sound. Like what I'm done with is Scientology being an obnoxious neighbor.
The decibel readers, stuff like that, don't you?
Yeah, if I have to, I'll get a professional out there to document it, so I'm gonna sue them.
As far as
I'll call you back.
if you're not able to walk down the street, give us a call. If there's something you think like, hey, it should be open and you're trying to close it off, give us a call.
I did.
And just like those officers show up, when they do it, they'll show up and they'll read the permits and they'll verify what they can and can't shut down.
No, they opened it. They opened it for me. They took me through. So I'm here to commend them. I'm here to get, because normally you guys, no offense, but you guys don't. Usually you guys stand with Scientology. And I'm not trying to be mean. It's just honest.
And if that's what's happening, if I'm not there every single time, so I don't know. I can't tell you why.
And I get it. She's been on your board for, you've probably known her for your whole career here, probably.
So if for whatever reason, please call us out, and then don't make the determination from there. And then
But can I tell you something now, when it comes to the sidewalks? This has been, and you could check with the city attorney, no permit.
Who are you talking about?
No, it's for the, it was, the person who gave the determination was Miss Hoppenstand, Adina. She told Scientology, I got this from the CPRA. She told them, no, there's no permit. Even the Oscars or any of those things cannot keep pedestrians off sidewalks. It does not exist. There's no permit in the city that prevents, that doesn't mean you can sit there and hang out unless there's an emergency. If there's a crime scene or something like that, that's the only time where you can prevent pedestrians. Otherwise, I don't care what they have going on there. They cannot, but they do. And I have the video to prove it, and I want to submit it. They sent me a link to submit it. I want to submit the complaint. I want to know who these armed guards were. I want to. They wouldn't tell me who they worked for, and two of them didn't have patches. That's illegal. And then that guy, the guy who always wears the Hawaiian shirts at the party. Well, I have a thing. He was threatening the person who usually is with me with putting him in cuffs because he was trying to go through. His guards put hands on him. He didn't touch him. He was on the bike, whatever. They put hands on him on his bike, and then he came. And then he told me it's closed. I don't care what you say. The cops came and said, no, it's not closed, and they're through. Then they shut it right down again.
And if
I'm not putting up with them.
If they shut it down again, call us back out again.
Well, I had already left, and then, but it was the next person. So if they didn't, not everyone wants to deal with it, or they don't want to. They're, maybe scared to deal with you guys.
Call us out. Call us out anytime. We'll take a look at it. If we need to open up the street, we'll open up the street. It is what it is.
Well, they had it for the street permit, but that's the other thing. The fire lane. They have to have a 20-foot fire lane. Absolutely, it's non-negotiable. Now, the fire department kind of let them have a little leeway because they had like a maze thing. But this time, and I have proof, they did not, and it was closed, and there was hundreds of children in there.
So I can reach out to fire and ask them about it,
Please.
but I think that's a fire code that they enforce. I don't
No, see, I do my homework. I got a fire, they say it's BSS. BSS says it's fire. You see what I'm saying? So that's that runaround we get. We don't know who it is.
So we don't know who.
No, and they don't know who it is. Because they keep referring to the other.
I will ask to see, hey, who actually is.
Because I'm going to send you the pictures, and there are hundreds of, and there's even animals. They were mistreating little bunny rabbits. They had them in the hot sun, and it was mean. And it's like there's no care. It's like they don't care about children or humans or seniors, so they don't. They're horrible. And Janet needs, like somebody who knows. We have a mutual person that we know told me that she really needs to be rescued. I don't hate Janet. I wish you would do a real wellness check on her because I hear her living conditions are horrible. They force her to come out here. They dress her, to do their bidding, and it's horrendous. And now I've been saying a lot about it, so I have a feeling they're going to pull her and put someone else here. Bye. It's like, congratulations on all your.
I'm surprised. I mean, that threw me off because I never get these kinds of. I never want these kind of things.
Well, you deserve it, but thank you for letting me come and talk.
Okay. So I'll work on that stuff for you. Okay. And just give me some time.
Not like a month or a year. Like how much time we're talking about?
Maybe not a year, but just give me a little bit of time. I think last time I got back to you, it took me about it.
3 months.
Yeah.
Like 3 months
to figure out what was going on with that.
Okay. I cut slack. I'm not an enemy to you.
Yeah, no, I get you.
I'm an enemy to an organization, not to the people. They're not allowed to be obnoxious neighbors. They're not allowed to abuse children. They're not allowed to abuse seniors. They're not allowed to do that. They're not allowed to human traffic. They're not allowed to scam people. All the things they do, and there's a lot of victims who are in those buildings now, but they don't feel they can leave. And I'm here for them as much as I am for the community. All right, well, I'll let him do it so I know I can get out of here. Hold on, wait, watch. Wait. Hold on.
And I'm going to be working with
Wait. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, the one who's like father's trapped in that building. They said that with the fire thing. He's gonna help.
Yeah, just put this up. Sorry, not to cut you off.
No.
So she's satisfied. So one of the things we're going to do is a date which is approximately 48 all from the labor. And then she could just give you like she's all right.
So you have to put it the way I do it, because I have like one little. Because I told the one officer, I said.
You want to do it for
Okay. Only because I needed to put it, because I told him, I was like, he gets the commendation, but I had to put the little like, you know how you get an A minus, the little minus. So he's got to get the little minus, and he knows it, but that's okay, because he'll do better next time. He'll do better next time. The other one was perfect. A plus today. No, you're leaving me. What are you talking about? You're leaving me. You're just like dropping me like, no, you get a B minus.
If you want, when you kind of know how to fill them out.
Yeah, I try to do commendations more than complaints, just to let you know. I'm not an enemy.
We appreciate it.
But I'm going to complain if I have to.
You want to email it to me? And then
Yeah,
whenever you get a chance, just email it to me.
Yeah, because I want them to have it. They deserved it. They honored their oath, which is all I ask.
And then I'll give it to Sergeant Rodriguez.
But I want to say, because what Laura, what she said was that the fire department told Scott that because they were blocking cars and stuff, blocking the fire lane, and they said they have the direct phone number to their security that they could say, hey, there's a fire, and this is an actual fire station, the battalion chief, who's like kind of, and they said that they'll move the cars if there's an emergency. The one that's right, Laura, what station? Who knows what station number it was? I forget. It's the one right by there. It's that one that serves that. The battalion chief's been giving me some problems. Can't think. I'm bad with that.
Like
35.
35?
But the battalion, and I forget the chief, he goes to the meetings, and he's like the one where I said, because I've been like going toe to toe with him, because I said there's a 20-foot lane period. It doesn't have exceptions. But he's like, well, I can get through. But I said, you're drastically slowed down. He goes, well, everyone's slowed down, whatever. And I'm like, that's not good enough.
Thank you so for the kind words. We appreciate it.
Oh, sure. Thank
Have a
you.
good
You
one.
too. And stay safe out there.
Okay, so fire engine number 35.
Yeah, the battalion chief. He's like, I think he's a Scientologist. I'm sorry, or he's I don't know. Maybe they're recruiting him.
Okay. All right.
I mean, not that you can't be one, but you can't have favoritism if you are, right? Like if you're a Catholic, you can't go putting the needs of the Catholic Church over any of the people, right? And so it's, even though they work harder to safe point you than the Catholic Church does, and it's true. I haven't asked Sergeant Rivas if you're one. No, I suspect all of you.
I know. All right, Miss.
All right.
So I'll be in touch, and then I will talk to Rolona about the CASP.
Yeah, I think I did, but I'm going to resend it, but you're right. See, I thought, because the captain said he was going to look into, so I thought he sent me a thing with his answer. That's why I said that, but now that you think of it, yeah, I think I did send it.
Yeah, because I want to start looking at those signs for you. Okay, but
Thanks. And for the community, not
Yes,
for me.
yes.
For your other people that you
Everyone.
serve.
For everyone in the
Right,
community.
because you don't just serve, right?
Not just you, I serve everyone.
Or just Scientology, right? All those neighbors, and then you need to work on the noise. We're gonna have a nice. I want to have a nice discussion about the noise, because that's next. I'm gonna hire a sound person to because I'm on it. I'm helping the neighbors.
Okay, I'll see you.
All right, bye, Sergeant.
Was that you at the commission, the board of commission?
The one I got kicked out. Heck yeah.
I thought that was you. I didn't see you, but I heard your voice. I was listening.
Yeah, I had to, because see, Laura, when she talked, I begged her to come because they're kind of scared of the police, because they're not allowed to, when you're like,
Yeah.
they're not allowed to go to the police.
Yeah.
And so she had the courage to come, and then, but then after that, they were really kind of rude to her, the one commissioner, and then it really upset me that, how can a victim come to you if you're going to kind of be nasty, And so I don't like to do that where I get myself kicked out.
Well, I
but-
heard your voice, and you've been here, and I was listening, and I said, I thought that was you.
Yeah, I
So
go to
you-
almost all meetings. I go to almost all city, if you hear the city, all of
I'm
them.
beginning to watch, but I haven't physically gone, but how do you have to sign up before you, how do you?
No,
get to show up?
you just show up, and then if you want to speak, you sign a card, you don't even have to put your
So
name.
how much early do you get there?
No, if you get there by 9:30, it'd be good.
9:30?
Yeah, because they seem to take everyone that appears in person.
Oh, okay.
You're if it's a Zoom call, you might not be, they're picky choosing. But if you get in.
No, I don't want to do the, I don't want to see it. I don't want to do the Zoom,
Yeah, no, if you go in.
The Zoom doesn't really resonate like you are in person.
Yeah, and if you're low, right here, and you can do it, and you're not, you're available, you should do it. I'll look forward to it. All right, seeing you. All right, thanks. Hey guys, is DOA still here? Did he leave?
I'm sorry, I thought you were.
Oh no, it's okay. I was gonna go over there, but then I forgot he left. Whoa. Put that back up a little. No, I think, yeah, it's really in my purse. It's like, thank you. Have a good night.
Okay, you too. See you.
I'll look for you at the meeting, at the police one.
We'll see. We'll see.
One of these days.
I'm gonna come to one of the, I'll do one of them.
No, because you say a lot of good stuff. You should. Wait, who said? Oh, yeah. Tell him I'm sorry. I wanted to be able to talk. I'm glad I stayed because they gave me public comment. And then I got to talk with them. So okay, we're gonna train Hernandez because Hernandez failed before. He took too long, and he says, "Give me some time." Yeah, we're gonna see about that. And I'm gonna push Rivas. So I'm gonna do the commendation. See, that's how you kind of, we're gonna safe point them a little bit, right? We safe point them. When they do it right, we're gonna say we're not the bad guys. We're, Scientology's the bad guys. And I'll be like, see, look at all the grief you get because you guys don't stand. When you stand up to Scientology, none of us are going to be giving you a problem. You're going to be good. But anyway, sorry, I know I missed a lot of chat, all of chat. And then I got Unisys's person's thing. So I feel really good about today. Thank you, Kathy. That's very sweet. That Hernandez, Ganja, that Hernandez. Yes. The attitude with, I mean, it's not the point where they know I'm here. They know I'm not going away. They know I mean business. They know I'm not afraid of them and I'm going to talk to them. Yeah, Antonio. So I think they're kind of like relenting a bit, you know. Thank you. Thank you, Maureen. I'm glad that, I know we all wanted me to talk to Janet, but the whole point was for her not to be here. The whole point is to get her off of, the whole goal is to get Janet off of Scientology. And I know Osa's listening. Osa, there's the goal, and you guys are so, you know, in a way you're kind of stupid to kind of prove that you listen, you know? So, you know, if I were you, I'd keep doing it. It's like, keep. So anyway, so I'm expecting them to send somebody else eventually. But chances are they're not as, they were. I know. And I knew they were scared. But you know what? We're playing good cop, bad cop. So he comes in tough, and this is what, and then I had to come in gentle. That's the only way to do it. You have to play good cop, bad cop with them. That's what they understand. So that's why when he, you know, he says what, and that's why I said tell him thank you, because he said what needed to be said. And he said it in a way that I appreciate tonight because it needed to happen. See, we need to see how they handle things, okay? We can see their limits. It gives you an insight into how they work. So it's good, okay? And then we take all that info and then we work with, then you send in good cop, you know? And then I'm going to talk with him, I'm going to tell, you know, whatever. I'm the type, I don't get angry. I mean, when I get angry, it's very methodical and it's very calculated, you know what I mean? So, but him being like, and stirring the pot, to me, it was good. Like, I was very happy. That's why I said say thank you to him, because that worked out good. Because then I was able to follow up and say, well, he's very passionate, you know? His partner's father stuck in that building. So I got to say that to everybody because of that. You know what I mean? You know, and then everyone heard me. And the people are being nice. They're like, well, maybe we're going to invite you to the Christmas party. I'm like, cool. Like, I'd like to come, you know? And then I saw the lady with the, you know, like, so the people are starting to reach out because they, you know, like, you say, you know, that's why you do the good cop, you know? Well, hey, DOA, that was good, though. I know, but you know what? You know, but it's good. I mean, and I'm sorry, not good that he's rude to you. I don't appreciate that. I know. I think that's why they gave the warning. I think he saw you and he got, like scared. You know what I mean? Whatever, but, and it's no excuse. But we get to see, like, what they're like, what their triggers are, so you're like the recon. DOA is recon. He goes in and he gets the pulse of it, okay? And then I go in and I know what I'm working with, and then we work it. So I'm going to talk to, so I did talk to him a little bit, you know, in the meeting about what's going on, but I'm going to, because now I can do better emails because we have that experience. I'm going to follow up with a very, very nice email, you know, and tell him what's going on, yeah. I know, and that's why it's very hard, you know, and they know this, and that's why they can't, that's why Ham was just like frozen, you know. I know, but it's good. We're working together. We're all working together in different elements. So he's attacking different parts. See, because when DOA's not there, there's a different vibe of relaxation. When they're there, I see how tense they are because they scares them. But guys, I'm going to have to go. But he's recon. We're going to talk more later, okay? Yes, he sacrificed himself for the greater good. But I got my ride is here, so I got to we'll talk more later. But thank you, DOA. You did great. I was so glad you're there, and I know it was boring as heck for you, but actually it gave a lot of info that I really need. Yes, yeah. Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. I was just waiting for you to pull out the thing. I gotta go, guys. I was just waiting for the, what do you call it?